They came ashore in darkness, under the shadow of cliffs that gave no warning. At precisely 5 a.m. on August 19th, 1942, over 6,000 Allied troops, most of them young, green Canadian soldiers, landed on the stony beaches of Dieppe, France. They had trained for weeks. They had been told it would be quick, in and out. Gather intelligence, strike a blow, get home. What they met instead was death, waiting in silence. As the ramps dropped on the landing craft, German machine guns opened up from hidden bunkers carved into the cliffs above. Bullets raked the water before the men had even reached dry land. The sound was deafening. Screams, steel, gunfire, water. Soldiers fell in heaps, twisted and torn before their boots even touched the beach. It was supposed to be a trial run, a large-scale raid to test the German coastal defenses, to steal intelligence, to probe Fortress Europe. But the plan was flawed, fatally so. The beaches were lined not with sand, but with loose pebbles that trapped the treads of Churchill tanks. The cliffs provided perfect high ground for enemy fire, and the Germans, who had intercepted some of the Allied radio chatter, were already prepared. There would be no element of surprise. The Royal Regiment of Canada landed at Blue Beach, a narrow strip flanked by sheer cliffs. When the first wave charged forward, they were mowed down within seconds. When the second wave arrived, they were hit harder. Of the 554 soldiers who landed there, only 65 would make it back. Further west, the South Saskatchewan Regiment attempted to ford the River Sy. The smokescreens intended to conceal their movements had drifted away in the wind. German snipers, perched in bell towers and windows, opened fire. Some men never made it to shore. Those who did were torn apart trying to cross open ground under relentless fire. By 7 a.m., chaos reigned. Tanks bogged down on the shingle. Engineers struggled to clear the obstacles. Communication broke down between units. The dead lay in rows across the rocks, their blood staining the sea foam. Still, command offshore insisted on pushing forward. The commanders aboard the warships, too far from the beaches to see the scale of the disaster, believed the raid could still succeed. More landing craft were ordered in. More men were sent into the meat grinder. But the Germans held every advantage. Their machine guns and artillery pounded the exposed beach. No cover, no progress, no mercy. Medics were shot as they tried to reach the wounded. Radios jammed. Smoke rolled across the shore, masking little, confusing everyone. Officers gave contradictory orders. Some units advanced and were wiped out. Others pulled back into the water only to be picked off from the cliffs above. The tanks, what few had landed, became stationary targets. Their treads locked in the stones. Unable to maneuver, they burned in place. Crews were incinerated inside. Survivors who tried to escape were gunned down. By mid-morning, the beach was littered with bodies. Some were curled in agony. Others floated still in the surf. It was only then, after 6 hours of slaughter, that the order came: withdraw. But withdrawal was chaos. Landing craft returning to the shore were targeted. Some overloaded and capsized. Soldiers who tried to swim were caught in riptides or shot in the water. Dozens were left behind. Those who couldn't crawl made no sound. When it was over, more than 3,600 Allied troops were killed, wounded, or captured. For Canada, it was the bloodiest single day of the war. The official version spoke of lessons learned, that Dieppe taught the Allies how not to conduct an amphibious assault, lessons that would help shape D-Day 2 years later. And that's true, in part. But it came at a staggering cost. Many historians have since questioned the motive. Some believe the raid was cover for a secret mission, to seize German code machines or radar equipment. Others see it as a political gesture, a show of commitment to Stalin, who was demanding a second front. Either way, the men on the beach didn't know. They weren't told. They were just told to go. Families received telegrams. Some received nothing at all. Names were carved into marble slabs in Canadian cemeteries, thousands of miles from home. For decades, veterans of Dieppe struggled with the memory, the friends they left behind, the silence that followed, the sense that they had been sent into a trap. The cliffs at Dieppe are still there. The beach is still made of the same sharp, unforgiving stone. The tide still rises, and the wind still carries the ghosts of that morning. Thank you for listening to Last Post History. Subscribe for more true stories from the world at war.